Stand up right now. Go ahead, I mean it. Just for a second, push yourself up from that chair, feel the weight of your body on your feet, and just stand tall. While you are standing there, I want you to pay close attention to the miracle happening inside you. Your heart is beating, your blood is pulsing, and your arteries are quietly, heroically doing their job to keep you alive. But here is the thing that almost nobody realizes, and it's something your doctor might not have the time to explain in a 10-minute checkup. After you cross the age of 55 or 60, your arteries are simply not as resilient or as springy as they once were. Most people live under a very dangerous illusion. They believe that clogged arteries are something that happens suddenly, like a bolt of lightning hitting a tree. They think one day you are perfectly fine, and the next day you are hit with a heart attack or a stroke that flips your entire world upside down. But that is not how the human body works. In reality, clogged arteries are a slow, silent, and methodical process that develops over 20, 30, or even 40 years. There are no alarms. There is no sharp pain to warn you. There are no red lights flashing on your dashboard saying, "Pay attention now." It is a silent buildup that happens in the dark, beneath the surface, until one day a life-changing event occurs. A heart attack that lands you in the emergency room. A stroke that changes how you move your arm or how your words come out. Or, perhaps most heartbreaking of all, you find yourself sitting in a quiet doctor's office, hearing those heavy words. I really wish we had caught this earlier so we could have done more to head it off. Those words sit heavy in the air, don't they? I'm Dr. Michael Kent, and for more than 30 years, I have made it my life's work to sit down with people just like you, folks in their 60s, 70s, and older, and help them protect their hearts in gentle, natural ways that actually support what the body is already trying to do. What if I told you there is one straightforward thing you can add right into your regular meals? Not some expensive pill, not a scary procedure, but actual food on your plate. That solid, peer-reviewed science says can start helping your body take better care of those arteries, and it can begin working from the very next time you sit down to eat. The best part is that this is not one of those harsh all-or-nothing diets that make you miserable or force you to give up every single thing that tastes good or that you share with your family during the holidays. It doesn't cost an arm and a leg at the grocery store, and you can still enjoy the meals that make you smile. Stick with me here, because by the time we are finished today, you will have a clear, step-by-step picture of exactly what to put on your plate, why those specific foods make such a massive difference inside your body, and how to do it safely, especially when you are over 60 and want to move carefully with any new habit. Before we go any further, I want to clear up a massive misconception that even some medical professionals get wrong. When people hear the phrase clogged arteries, they almost always picture old kitchen pipes packed solid with years of built-up grease, thick, sticky stuff that just suddenly stops everything. That image is only about 10% of the story, and honestly, it's the least important part. What really starts the trouble is not the grease itself, but a process called long-term systemic inflammation inside the artery walls. Imagine the inner lining of your artery, which doctors call the endothelium. When this lining is healthy, it is smoother than silk, allowing blood to glide along with zero resistance. But when you have chronic inflammation, it is like someone is taking a piece of rough sandpaper to that silk lining every single day. Once that lining gets scratched, scuffed, and rough, little particles of cholesterol that are floating in your blood start sticking to those hurt spots. They aren't trying to hurt you, they are actually trying to patch the wound. But then, calcium starts to pile on top of that cholesterol like hard, brittle cement. The whole area thickens, the artery gets narrower, the walls get stiffer, and your blood has a much harder time getting through smoothly. This whole slow, grinding process is called atherosclerosis. Because it builds so gradually, you usually don't notice a single thing until a big problem shows up. But here is the encouraging news. Your body is not a helpless machine. You really can slow that buildup way down, and in many cases you can even help stabilize and undo a portion of the damage that is already there, but only if you stop giving fuel to the inflammation that is driving the whole thing forward. To truly understand why your arteries change, we have to look at the hidden layer of your blood vessels that most people have never heard of, the glycocalyx. Imagine a microscopic forest of tiny, hair-like structures that line the inside of every single artery in your body. This forest acts as a protective barrier, a sort of biological Teflon that keeps cholesterol and toxins from ever touching the actual wall of the artery. When you are young, this forest is thick and lush. But as we age, and especially when we eat a diet high in sugar and processed oils, this forest gets mowed down. Once the glycocalyx is thin or gone, your arteries are left naked and vulnerable to damage. This is where the real clogging starts. By focusing on anti-inflammatory foods, we aren't just lowering a number on a lab report. We are literally regrowing the protective forest inside our veins. When you reach your 60s or 70s, 4 key biological changes happen that hit your arteries particularly hard. The first change is that ongoing arterial inflammation we just mentioned. Picture your arteries like a flexible garden hose that you use to water your garden. When the inside is nice and clean, the water flows in a perfect, steady stream. But chronic inflammation roughs up that inner surface, like moss or algae building up inside the hose, so the flow gets choppy and turbulent. This turbulence creates more friction, which creates more heat and more damage, which then attracts more plaque. It is a vicious cycle. A huge study from Harvard University kept track of more than 5,000 adults for 15 full years and discovered that measuring inflammation levels predicted who would have a heart attack far better than just looking at cholesterol numbers by themselves. You might be sitting there thinking, "But Dr. Kent, I've heard that low-fat diets and statin pills are supposed to fix all of this." The truth is that while those things can help with some parts of the picture, they often don't touch the root cause of the inflammation, so the problem just keeps simmering underneath like a fire in the walls of a house. The second change you need to understand is oxidative stress combined with plaque that becomes unstable. This is a concept that is life-saving if you grasp it. You see, not all plaque is the same. Some plaque is hard and calcified. It's like a rock. While it narrows the artery, it's actually relatively safe because it's stable. But other plaque is soft and fragile. Imagine a very thin sheet of ice stretched over a deep pond. One small bump, one spike in blood pressure, or one burst of inflammation, and that thin sheet of ice cracks open. When that soft plaque ruptures, your body tries to heal the cut by forming a massive blood clot instantly. That clot is what causes the sudden heart attack or stroke. What weakens that fragile cap on the plaque is oxidative stress, basically damage from free radicals that act like tiny microscopic sparks wearing your tissues down. These free radicals are produced by pollution, stress, and poor quality food. Researchers at Johns Hopkins followed about 2,400 older adults and found that the people who got more antioxidants through their food had a 52% lower chance of that dangerous plaque breaking open. The third change is a significant drop in nitric oxide production. Nitric oxide is a wonderful, tiny molecule that your blood vessels produce to help them relax and open wider. Think of it like a drop of high-quality oil on a squeaky, stiff door hinge. Without enough of it, everything gets tight, rigid, and hard to move. As we get older, our bodies naturally lose the ability to manufacture nitric oxide efficiently. By the time you are 70, you might be producing 75% less than you did when you were 20. This is why your blood pressure tends to creep up as you age. Your arteries are literally stuck in a constricted or tight position, and your heart has to work twice as hard to push blood through them. But scientists in Barcelona ran a study showing that people who followed a specific Mediterranean-style way of eating for only 4 weeks saw their nitric oxide levels jump up by 30%. The fourth change that sneaks up on so many of us is blood sugar spikes after meals combined with growing insulin resistance. A lot of folks in their later years don't connect the dots between what they ate for lunch and what is happening in their arteries 2 hours later. But every time your blood sugar shoots up fast, it is like dumping corrosive chemicals onto delicate silk. The tiny damage adds up quietly over time. Those spikes cause your body to pump out extra insulin, and extra insulin is like a signal that tells your artery walls to grow thicker and stiffer. Have you noticed tingling or numbness in your feet sometimes? Or that heavy, overwhelming, tired feeling that hits you an hour or two after a meal? Maybe your blood pressure numbers have been edging higher, even though you are trying to watch your salt. These are signs that your insulin is struggling to keep up. Let's talk about the potassium balance. Most seniors are told to avoid salt, but they aren't told to increase potassium. Potassium is the direct antagonist to sodium. It goes into your cells and pushes the excess water and salt out into the bloodstream so your kidneys can flush it away. But more than that, potassium actually relaxes the smooth muscle cells of your arteries. It's like a biological chill pill for your blood vessels. Without enough potassium, your arteries stay in a state of high tension, regardless of how little salt you eat. This is why foods like avocados, spinach, and sweet potatoes are so vital. They don't just provide nutrients, they provide the electrical balance your heart needs to maintain a steady rhythm. Then we have the vagus nerve connection. Your heart and your brain are connected by a massive nerve called the vagus nerve. This nerve is responsible for the rest and digest system. When this nerve is healthy and toned, it keeps your heart rate low and your blood vessels open. But when we are stressed, or when we eat inflammatory foods, the vagus nerve loses its tone. This leads to a state of fight or flight that stays on 24 hours a day. Imagine leaving your car engine idling at 5,000 RPMs while it's parked in the garage. That is what stress does to your heart. Part of the heart protocol involves not just what you eat, but how you eat. Eating slowly, chewing your food thoroughly, and being in a calm environment actually cools the vagus nerve, allowing your heart to operate in its most efficient zone. Let's dive deeper into Step 5, fatty fish. This is your foundation. Think salmon, sardines, mackerel, or anchovies. These are not just food, they are medicine for your blood. Just 2 servings per week provide measurable cardiovascular benefits. Why? Because they are loaded with EPA and DHA, omega-3 fatty acids. These fats act like fire extinguishers for arterial inflammation. They improve nitric oxide production, meaning your vessels relax more easily. They also prevent platelet clumping, which is what causes the dangerous clots that lead to strokes. A 2018 study in the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition showed 380% improvement in arterial flexibility after 12 weeks of consistent omega-3 intake. If fish is truly unappealing to you, consider high-quality purified fish oil capsules. But always discuss this with your doctor first, especially if you are taking blood thinners, because these fats are very effective at keeping the blood smooth. Step 4. Colorful, non-starchy vegetables. This is where you get your shields. Think spinach, arugula, broccoli, red peppers, tomatoes, and onions. These plants are packed with polyphenols, flavonoids, and fiber. Fiber is essential because it binds to excess cholesterol in the digestive tract and carries it out of the body before it can reach your blood. But the real magic is in the polyphenols. These compounds reduce oxidative stress by neutralizing free radicals. Harvard researchers tracked 3,000 adults over 10 years and found that those consuming at least 5 servings per day had 42% lower arterial stiffness. You want to mix your colors, eat the rainbow. Aim for 3 to 5 cups daily. Try to eat them raw or lightly steamed, as overcooking can destroy the delicate antioxidants your arteries need. Step 3. Extra virgin olive oil. This is the liquid gold of heart health. It contains oleic acid and powerful antioxidants like hydroxytyrosol. This compound specifically protects the endothelium and prevents LDL cholesterol from oxidizing. Remember, LDL is only dangerous when it oxidizes and turns rancid. Olive oil stops that process. The way you use it matters. Use it as a finishing oil. Drizzle it over your cooked vegetables or fish after they come off the heat. Look for cold-pressed oil in dark glass bottles and store it away from light. Avoid high-heat frying with it to preserve the benefits. Just 2 tablespoons a day can change the chemical environment of your blood vessels. Step 2. Natural flavor enhancers. This is my favorite part because it makes your food taste amazing. Garlic, turmeric, black pepper, lemon juice, oregano, and rosemary. These are potent anti-inflammatory agents. Garlic has been shown to reduce blood pressure and arterial stiffness. Turmeric contains curcumin, which inhibits the primary inflammatory pathways in the body. However, you must take turmeric with a pinch of black pepper to unlock its power. 1 to 2 cloves of crushed garlic daily can reduce CRP, that inflammation marker, by 20 to 30% in older adults. Instead of reaching for the salt shaker, reach for the herb rack. You're not just seasoning your food, you're medicating your arteries. Step 1. Avoid inflammatory triggers. This is perhaps the most important step. Refined carbohydrates, white bread, sugary cereals, pastries, and certain vegetable oils like soybean, corn, sunflower, and canola oil. These oils are high in omega-6, which can be pro-inflammatory when consumed in excess. They trigger a cascade of inflammation that negates all the benefits from the other steps. It's like trying to bail water out of a boat while there's still a hole in the bottom. Replace refined carbs with whole, minimally processed options like berries, nuts, or small amounts of sweet potato. Swap inflammatory seed oils for olive oil or avocado oil. Remember, no supplement on earth can outrun a poor diet. We also have to address the sleep-heart connection. When you sleep, your body performs a lymphatic flush. It cleans out the waste products from your brain and your blood vessels. If you are not getting deep restorative sleep, your blood pressure stays elevated all night long. This is called non-dipping blood pressure, and it is a major risk factor for heart attacks in seniors. When you follow the HEART protocol, the magnesium and healthy fats actually help improve your sleep quality. It's a beautiful upward spiral. Better food leads to better sleep, and better sleep leads to more repair in your artery walls. Let's talk about the hydration myth. Most people think drinking more water is enough, but for your arteries, it's about cellular hydration. This requires electrolytes, specifically magnesium, potassium, and sodium, in the right balance. If you drink plain water all day, you might actually be flushing out the very minerals that keep your heart rhythm steady. Adding a tiny pinch of sea salt and a squeeze of lemon to your water can help those minerals get inside the cells, where they can do their job of relaxing the blood vessels. I want to talk about the concept of biological age versus chronological age. You might be 72 on your birth certificate, but if your endothelium is healthy and your arteries are flexible, your heart might be 50. Conversely, I've seen 40-year-olds with the stiff, clogged arteries of an 80-year-old. The difference is almost always found in the daily information they give their cells. Every time you eat, you are sending a set of instructions to your DNA. You are either telling your body to inflame and protect, or to relax and repair. The HEART protocol is simply a way of sending the relax and repair signal as often as possible. Consider the microbiome of your mouth. We mentioned the bacteria on your tongue that create nitric oxide. Did you know that gum disease is directly linked to heart disease? The same bacteria that cause inflammation in your gums can enter your bloodstream and cause inflammation in your heart valves. This is why oral hygiene is actually a heart health strategy. By eating less sugar and more fibrous vegetables, you change the environment of your mouth, supporting the good bacteria that protect your arteries. I want to share the story of Arthur, an 80-year-old who felt he was too old to change. He had multiple stents and was on 5 different medications. He was tired all the time and had given up on his daily walks. We started with just 2 changes, adding olive oil and crushing 1 clove of garlic into his dinner. Within 3 weeks, he felt a spark of energy he hadn't felt in years. He started walking to the end of his driveway, then to the end of the block. 6 months later, his cardiologist was able to reduce 2 of his medications. Arthur told me, "I thought I was just waiting for the end, but now I feel like I'm starting a new chapter." That is the power of the human body's resilience. It doesn't matter if you are 80 or 90, your cells are constantly regenerating. Give them the right building blocks, and they will build a stronger house. Let's look at the 12-month recovery roadmap in even more detail. Month 1. Your blood sugar stabilizes. The sticky feeling in your blood begins to subside. You stop having the mid-afternoon energy crashes. Month 2. Your vascular tone improves. This means when you stand up quickly or climb stairs, your arteries react faster to get oxygen to your brain and muscles. Month 3. Your lipid profile starts to shift. Not just the total cholesterol, but the size of the particles. They become large and fluffy, safe, rather than small and dense, dangerous. Month 6. Plaque calcification begins. This sounds scary, but calcifying a soft plaque is like putting a hard shell over a soft-boiled egg. It makes it stable and much less likely to cause an emergency. Month 9. Your systemic inflammation markers, like H.E.A.R.T, often drop to their lowest levels in years. Month 12. Your biological age, measured by arterial stiffness, can actually move backward. You are now living in a more resilient body than you were a year ago. I also want to touch on the vitamin D factor. Most seniors are deficient in vitamin D, which is actually a hormone that regulates calcium and inflammation. Without enough vitamin D, your body can't effectively use the vitamin K2 we talked about earlier. Spending 15 minutes in the sun or taking a high-quality supplement is like turning on the power to the entire heart protocol system. Safety is our priority. I want to reiterate, do not play doctor with your medications. If you have been on a statin or blood pressure medication for years, your body has adapted to it. Changing your diet will change your internal chemistry, and you must have your doctor monitor those changes. Often, as the diet takes hold, the doctor will see that you no longer need the same high doses. That is the goal, to need less intervention because your body is doing the work itself. I want you to think about your why again. Think about the people you love. Think about the things you still want to do. Your heart is the engine that will take you there. It has been beating for you since before you were born, over 100,000 times every single day. It has never taken a day off. It has never asked for a vacation. All it asks for is the right fuel and a little bit of care. Don't let the health industry confuse you with complicated jargon and expensive supplements. The most powerful tools for your heart are simple, natural, and available at any grocery store. Real fish, real vegetables, real oil, real spices. That is the secret. It's not a secret because it's hidden. It's a secret because it's so simple that most people overlook it. I want to encourage you to be patient with yourself. You didn't develop clogged arteries in a week, and you won't clean them in a week. But you can change the direction you are moving in a single day. Every heart-healthy meal is a step away from the hospital and a step toward the garden, the park, or the travel agency. If you found this video helpful, please share it with a friend. We all know someone who is worried about their heart. Let's spread the message that age doesn't have to mean decline. Let's build a community of heart-strong seniors who are leading the way for the next generation.